What's up, Authentic fam, and welcome back to Authentic Alphas. We got another response video here, and I got a beautiful young lady, Russian, right?
Russian, Lithuanian.
Russian, Lithuanian. Is there a difference that you want to explain?
Absolutely. First, these are two different countries. One is in Europe, another is is not. And different cultures. And I've been raised up in Lithuania, not in Russia. So.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is you're Russian by birth, by heritage, but you were raised in Lithuania.
Yeah,
okay.
I was born and raised in Lithuania. Yeah.
All right. So now we know.
Now we know.
So we're clarified that you're more Lithuanian than you are Russian. The blood is Russian, but the mind is Lithuanian.
Yeah.
Something like that?
Something like that.
Okay, well, I'm Jamaican American, so
the
blood is Jamaican, but I was raised in the good old land of the free. But are we so free? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Tate speech versus freedom of speech.
The world up until this point was based on freedom. How they advertised you to be a good slave was they would give you some freedom. And when I say slave, I use that word particularly because a slave used to work his ass off and he would get food and a house in return. And 99% of people out here, my friend, are working their asses off. They can buy food and a house. That's it. Most people are still slaves. They would tell you you're going to be a slave, but you'll be free at least. You know, you can do what you want. You can think what you want. You can say what you want. You can walk around outside, look at the trees. You're a slave, but you're free. Freedom, freedom, freedom. And what happened when they did this? Something changed. The internet came. People started to talk. People started to think. People started to realize how money's made. People started to realize it's all a scam. Cryptocurrency was invented. Now you have Bitcoin, which is surpassing the global reserve currency. We don't need banks anymore. We don't need the IMF anymore. People are starting to talk. People have elected Trump, a man who's not bought and controlled by the establishment. People are starting to actually get their minds right. So the people in charge are like, oh, fuck, we're losing control. We no longer control the money. We no longer control who's in charge of each country. Oh, fuck, we've got to put an end to this. We can no longer base our societies on freedom. We must base our societies on safety. You can't think for yourself. We can't put these videos on YouTube because it's fake news and it's dangerous. You can't go outside because the virus and it's dangerous. You can't travel in between countries without that injection because it's dangerous. This is no longer about freedom, my friends. This is about your safety. They're going to take all your freedom away, and instead they're going to give you a nice big helping of safety. And you're going to take it and go, oh, at least I'm safe. You were safer before. You were safer before because now the government can arrest you for saying something they don't like. Because now you're spreading fake news. You were safer when you could have an opinion.
All right, so back to the regular programming, guys. We're going to review or respond to a short Tate clip, and we'll get her perspective on it, which I guess is going to be biased now because I completely forgot, guys, that she was already familiarized with one of the Tate brothers. I'm sorry. There's a lot going on. I know a lot of beautiful women, so I forgot that story you told me. This was long before Tate got banned, long before I decided to get women's take on the situation. So forgive me for that. But you're not that familiar with Andrew. So let's
I mean, I'm not familiar with both of them. Like,
well, they have completely different personalities anyway,
yeah,
so he has nothing to do with Tristan. So
and I think that actually be curious to get your take on this because I know I really like what you've said about managing women in some of your videos and content, but you know, you talked about a lot of times the guy, especially in the Western world, the sexless marriage, right, being walked all over. How does the guy turn around this shit or prevent that from happening?
I like to blame the man. I like to say if a woman is treating you wrong, if you've got, you know, all the shit that happens to you, it's because of you. So how does the man become the guy that doesn't have this shit happen to him?
I 1,000% agree with you, friend. I 1,000% agree. So I have anyone who doesn't know me knows I used to run a webcam studio. So I had 75 women working for me, and they were talking to guys online and taking money from all the Democrats and betas, were sending them money, and the money went to me. This is how I first made big money. So I kind of understand intersexual dynamics from a very unique perspective because you had me at the top, you had 75 women underneath, and you had thousands of men underneath them giving them the money, which kind of went to me. So it was kind of like a weird dynamic. So yeah, here's the truth about male-female relationships. Women fuck men they respect. Mm-hmm. That's it. They don't fuck men they like. They don't fuck men they love. They fuck men they respect. If she loves you and likes you and doesn't respect you, she will not have sex with you. I have women who respect me and fucking hate me, but they're here every time I call. So if they respect you, they're going to sleep with you. Yep. And this is something that's biological and evolutionary. They fuck men they respect. Women fuck men they respect. That's it. They don't fuck men they like. They don't fuck men they love. They fuck men they respect. If she loves you and likes you and doesn't respect you, she will not have sex with you. I have women who respect me and fucking hate me, but they're here every time I call. So if they respect you, they're gonna sleep with you. And this is something.
Okay, so let's start with question number one before we address what he said. So, how do you feel about Andrew Tate?
Well, I have questions. Like, why would his first business would be this?
So wait, are you curious or are you offended that he?
No, offended? I was not working for him. Like,
Well, I don't. Okay,
offended.
well, I meant
But
offended
it's just
as
okay for me. That's interesting. Like, obviously, like these two people, Andrew and Tristan, like they have this entrepreneurial mindset, which means that they know how to buy this thing. I don't want to touch it. So, like, how to buy a phone and how to sell it, right? Like, they know how to make money out of. Well, at least they want to make money, out of something. Like, this is about entrepreneurial mindset. Why would they go with this business? Because this business is not just, like producing coffee there and selling it on the street. That's, that has, like, they have to be okay with that. Like, and that's what, raises questions.
Well, here's the thing.
Like, he just asked me, like, why don't you coach who? Men, women? Because this just goes against my values.
Okay.
Like,
fair enough. Now,
do you understand what I mean? Like, where I'm just...
you answered your own question because you said it went against your values. So
Right.
that's the thing right there. Now,
Right.
I'm gonna
Okay.
speak on it, and I think I'm equipped to answer this question because I've been in the position. I've been there. So
Where?
so there's many of things that he said there that I can relate to. So I'm not saying I'm Andrew Tate. I'm not saying I'm like Andrew Tate. I'm not saying I'm at the level or to the magnitude of Andrew Tate, but I am saying with a surety that I can relate to a lot of what he just described. Now, that pyramid that he described, where there's these weak, needy, desperate men at the bottom, there's these attractive women in the middle extracting these resources, and then he's at the top procuring these resources. I've been there in many, many, many different facets, but in that same seat that he's talking about. Obviously not to that magnitude where he made millions of dollars, but I did make tens of thousands of dollars being in that same position. As a dancer, as a male dancer, where do you think these women were getting the money from that they were coming to the club and giving us? This money came from boyfriends. This money came from ex-husbands. This money came from wealthy fathers. I had a chick that didn't want to work. Anytime she wanted more money, she would just threaten her father and say, hey, if you don't give me X amount of money, I'm going to have to go find a job. And he would say, yes, you need to start working. You're an adult. I'm tired of paying your bills. And she would say, well, nobody's hiring but the strip club. And her father would immediately send that money, and she would be at the club giving me said money. Right? So she was extorting her own father because he didn't want the shame and the embarrassment of his daughter working in a nightclub or being a stripper. But that's just an example of a female taking money from a weak man who doesn't know how to say no and coming now and giving it to me. There were women coming and spending their child support money on guys. There were women spending their alimony on guys, right? And it was something that my boss told me when I first started dancing. He said, you guys are over here flirting with pretty broke girls. He said, let me tell you something about a broke, attractive woman. Any woman that's beautiful, she can go get some money. So stop acting like, oh, I can hang out with her for free. I can talk to her for free because she's young and she's broke. That's the one that you put to work. That's the one that you say, yo, go get this money. All these guys that have money that like you, go get it and then come give it to me. Don't give them free attention because I'm not giving you free attention. And sure enough, you put those little pretty young girls to task, they would be happy to come and tell you, oh, guess what? What's up, man? Don't waste my time. This better be good. So I was talking to this guy, and I told him da-da-da-da, and I told him that my rent was late, and that he said, how much do you need? And I told him $1,600, and he sent me $1,000, baby. All right, well, How much of it is mine? Oh, you can have all of it. Okay, now we can talk. And she lives with her parents. But that guy believed that story, and he sent that Western Union. So I can relate to exactly what he's saying. The resource that you want to have, first and foremost, when it comes to women, is respect. That's the main currency. You got to have that aspect, because there's guys, constantly saying, "Oh, you got to have money. It's about money." It's like, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, from experience, women do not respect you just because you have money. In fact, the more willing you are to just give them money that they don't deserve is the less that they respect you. Therefore, they get a kick out of giving your money to someone else, whether it be their female friends or another guy that they like and respect. So the amount of time that a girl will come like, "Ooh, girls, look, I got his card, girl. He said get whatever. Ooh, and then now they're going shopping on this guy's fucking credit card. And he's too dumb to realize that these dresses are different sizes. So how could she have went shopping with your card, but yet this dress is a 3, then in this store she bought a dress that was a 6, and in that store she bought shoes that were 8, and in this store she bought shoes that was a 10. What's going on here? Yeah, her and her friends are spending your fucking money, stupid. So I agree with what he's saying. The respect comes first and foremost. And when the woman respects you, you can have money and deny her. You could say, why? I'm not paying $2,000 for that. I don't feel like it. That's not going to be the end of the relationship. She's just going to huff and puff. She's just going to roll her eyes and go, but she's still attracted to the guy. So if you telling her, no, I'm not going to buy this, or I'm not going to spend this, or I'm not going to tolerate this, or I'm not going to accept that, if that's the end of the relationship, that means she didn't respect you in the first place.
I mean, I guess that it's not only about respect, it's just that she was not interested in you at all. Not only that she didn't respect you, but she was there because you were giving her money.
Let me tell you.
That at least is how it looks to me.
But she couldn't respect you if she would do that. That's my point. If she would waste your time knowing she wasn't interested in you, guess what? She doesn't respect you. Because if she did, she'd respectfully tell you, hey, I'm not interested.
Yes, you're right. That's true.
Right?
That's true.
And that's kind of why it seems like respect and fair are almost interchangeable at times. It almost seems like they're synonyms, because usually people show respect when there is a consequence for not doing it. So there's almost like I'm afraid of something, or I'm trying to avoid this outcome, therefore I'm going to make sure not to disrespect this person or be disrespectful. And I think the majority of guys in this present day, that element is missing from their relationships, because it's not a cultural thing anymore. In the past, it was a cultural thing to respect men, and there was a very strict understanding as to what was respectful and what was disrespectful. And if there was an air of disrespect, it had to be addressed immediately. Whereas nowadays, there's a lot of subtle disrespect going on, and the men aren't even aware of it to check them. And it's funny, because when you see like older men observing younger guys, they'll notice it, and they'll be like, "Hey, young blood, why you let your woman do that, or why you let your woman talk to you like that?" And the younger guy's oblivious. He's like, "Huh? What are you talking about, old man?" And the older guy's like, "That could have never happened in my day. You know what I mean? In my time." And you see it also with women as far as how they dress and how they carry themselves. In the past, that would have been disrespectful to your family, to your father, for you to come out of the house that way, right?
Right.
So I think that Andrew Tate really just has a very traditional mindset. And I think that's what's confusing a lot of people, because when he says these things, it comes off as being misogynist and this and that and that. And really what he's saying is, because these things aren't in order, is why you're experiencing these other problems, is why these other things are happening.
Right.
And I think that's also what John is trying to say from Bulldog Mindset. He's trying to say that a lot of times it's the guy that's the problem. It's not the females. And when you remove that male discipline, you remove that male order, that male leadership, and that male judgment, the women tend to kind of act out. And then you have other problems because the genie's out of the bottle, so to speak. So So I don't want you to think that like, well, Andrew Tate used to exploit women, because another thing that I will say about being in that situation is that it might come off as like Andrew was going to women like, hey, why don't you get on webcam? Why don't you get into the sex industry? Why don't you, and come bring me some money? But a lot of times that's actually not how it happens. A lot of times what happens is you meet young females and they're already monetizing their sexuality. They're already fumbling through it, but they don't have a business mind. They're not organized. They're not maximizing. They don't understand how to market correctly. They don't understand how to vet correctly. They don't understand how to charge correctly, enter the market. So it's like, you're like, well, you know what? If you're going to do it anyway, and she's going to do it anyway, and she's going to do it anyway, you know what? Time out. Why don't y'all just let me manage you? And I see that nowadays. There's a lot of girls fumbling through OnlyFans. And when they're telling me things, I'm kind of just like, hold on, suggestion over here. Why wouldn't you do this, this, and this, and this, and this, and that, and that, and why aren't you paying someone to do this and do that, and that? And they're like, oh, I never thought of that. So after having that conversation enough times, eventually the light bulb's going to go off in your head.
Online fans coach.
That's what I'm saying. At some point in time,
I can give you all this, contacts of these girls living in this building. Like there are a bunch of them here.
and see. Here's the thing. Now, females would be quick to hear this and say, "Oh my God, what a jerk! He's exploiting women and using." Oh, time out. It's actually the opposite, because a lot of times these girls fumble through this. They don't do it properly. They don't do it correctly. They don't maximize. And also, they don't know how to save their money or invest their money. And then they fumble through it for a few years, and then they end up broke. And they have nothing to show for it. So this so-called toxically masculine man stepping in, this so-called, guy that's exploiting them and pimping them, comes and steps in. He actually teaches them how to make more money in less time with less effort, exploiting themselves less, and how to manage their money, save their money, invest their money. So when they are in a position to retire earlier than they would have been, they also have something put aside, and now they're making money. They're making residual money. You see what I mean? Because he helped them make the right investments, put their money into crypto, put their money into shares, put their money into that, to this. So, you can't just judge these people right away.
Yeah, but it's, I guess, when somebody is asking you for help, would you rather give him a fish, or would you rather teach this person how to fish?
I'll be honest with you, these women don't want to learn how to do these things. You think women want to learn how to take their own pictures and edit their own pictures and set up their own websites and manage their own back end? They don't want to do that. They're either going to find some little nerdy dude who's going to do it for free because, okay, sure, I'll do it for you, no problem. They're either going to find one of those guys, or they're going to find a guy like Andrew who's going to step in like a boss and a leader and say, listen, this is...
Hey, you're selling Andrew in
no,
the best way possible.
No, hold on, time out. I'm not selling anybody. I'm just saying I've been in that position before and have certain values and felt like I don't even want to do this. But at the same time, if I don't participate, this girl is going to go ahead and do it anyway. And it's not going to be as lucrative. It's going to be dangerous. She has nobody watching her back. She has nobody saying, hey, that doesn't sound like a good idea. That sounds a little bit shady. I don't think you should deal with this guy. I don't think you should go over here. And they can also go seek management elsewhere. And that elsewhere does exploit them, does use them, does trick them, and take all their money. And then what? And then I'm going to sit there and feel bad because it's like, damn, I had an opportunity to help. But my morals, my values. See what I'm trying to say? So
if you think that you changed my opinion, I mean, you have good arguments.
I'm not trying to change your opinion. I'm just trying to say, on face value, people will be quick to judge him and say, oh my God, he's a jerk. He's out here manipulating these young, beautiful women and convincing them to sexualize themselves, and he's exploiting them. And it's like, what are you talking about? For all you know, they could have been escorts when he met them, and he talked them out of doing that and said, listen, you could be behind a screen, you could be in front of a screen and make more money and never have to be alone with these guys, never have to actually with these guys. Okay? And me, myself, I've, again, had that conversation many times when I'm over here telling women, hey, listen, you don't have to do all of that. You don't have to do this, this, and this. I can give you a couple suggestions on how you can make money without having to do that, You see what I mean? And the women are like, no, this is what men want. This is the only way to make money. And I'm like, no, actually, that's not true. Have you heard of the internet? Have you heard of Venmo? Have you heard of Zelle? Have you heard of PayPal? You can make more money with guys you never met in person, than putting yourself in that dangerous position over and over and over again, going to meet a stranger, and then coming home and feeling like shit. So there's levels to it, is all I'm saying, right? But fair enough. You think that his past is questionable.
I just believe that, he's a smart person, and he can and he could have done so many other businesses. That's all I think. Not judging. I'm not saying anything. That's what I think.
Okay, listen. You're more than entitled to that opinion, but just know that in order for that to be fair, you would have to feel the same way about all these women that are sexualizing themselves and monetizing themselves. You have to feel the same way about the girl that's on OnlyFans. You need to feel the same way about the girl that works at the strip club. You see what I mean? You have to feel the same way. Because you can't say, oh, he could have picked other businesses to go into without saying, well, these women could have picked other businesses to go into.
But you haven't asked me about these women.
No, I'm just saying. So let's just be fair. I
mean, of course.
Yeah, you feel there's other things to do.
Yeah.
I agree. There's a reason why I left the nightclub business. I felt like I'm a pretty smart guy. I can make money in other ways.
Exactly.
I have a conscience
and
too.
You are.
Yeah, okay. Take your child support money and spend it on your kids, woman. I'm out of here. I don't want to be involved in this sinful environment anymore. But it is what it is. Do you think that Andrew Tate is a misogynist?
Misogynist? What is that?
You don't know what a misogynist is?
No.
Are you kidding me? No. It's a word for someone that hates women.
Okay.
Yeah, that resents
someone who hates women.
He's a misogynist.
I don't think he hates women. No, I mean, again, like if we speak about this business, like obviously he didn't do that because he hated women, because if he did hate, women, he wouldn't start working with them. That doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Second, I mean,
I have to push back on that
if
a little
you
bit.
hate it, yeah, like
I have to push back on that because I do know a particular guy that absolutely despises women. He hates women, and his entire business revolves around presenting women to the public. But yet he hates them. But yet they're essential to his business. That's why people tune into his show, just because of the women that are there. But he hates women.
Okay.
And I'm not.
Can you be more specific about hating women?
And again, this isn't.
How does he hate women?
This isn't my estimation. This is what he's told me. Like, I hate them. I can't stand. I don't want to even be around. You know what I'm saying? He hates women. So that's why, if I didn't know that individual, I probably would have agreed with you. Like, yeah, why would you work around people that you hate? But with that being said, there are also men that are extremely racist. And they hate black people, but they'll own a football team or a basketball team that's 80% black. So it happens. I'm sure slave owners didn't like black people either, but they sure as hell owned slaves, and they were essential to their plantation. So I'm not trying to defend Tate. You see, I'm fair, guys, non-biased. Okay, so he's not a misogynist, though. Okay, next question is, do you agree or disagree with the comments that he made in this particular clip? Not overall, but just this particular clip, the comments that he made. And real quick to remind you, he basically said that if you're experiencing issues with women in general, most likely the issue is you yourself. The problem is probably you, how you're conducting yourself. The second thing that he said is that women have sex with men that they respect, and vice versa. They don't have sex with men they don't respect. And the third thing is that
you need to understand your boundaries and expectations as a man, and you have to set them, and you have to make sure she complies and sticks to them. And if she doesn't, you're gonna have to find somebody else. Yeah. And this is another thing I talk about being a playboy. I have lots of guys come to me and say, "Oh, Tate, but I don't want to be a playboy like you." I say, look, if you want to be happily married, the best thing you can be first is a playboy.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do, because you're going to learn a whole bunch about women. You're going to have a whole bunch of choices to choose for a wife. If you're stuck with one option, the one chick you met, then she might be a dickhead. Some women are just dickheads. Some women have been fucked too hard, too many times by too many big scary guys, and they just don't want to listen no more. So like being a playboy is important.
That you're going to struggle in a long-term relationship with women if you had limited options prior to that commitment. In other words, if you don't have much experience with women, you didn't have much options when you chose your girlfriend or wife, chances are you're going to struggle through the relationship because you don't know how to deal with them to begin with.
Right. Well, I think I can agree with the last one.
Just the last one?
Wait, I haven't finished yet.
Oh, go ahead.
So as for the last one, yes, I agree. I guess that, you know, you learn everything through experience. And if you're choosing someone, you know, like to spend your life with, or at least, you know, intend to, you gotta know what you want. You gotta know how to deal with things. And if you haven't learned that, you know, in your family, if you didn't have a good example, or, you know, you just don't have this knowledge, then yes, you gotta experience, you gotta, you know, go out, deal with women, and, you know, learn how to speak, how to you know, go on dates, like what to do.
Also, you should learn that too.
I mean, right. So the second one was about the respect, right? I mean, that's what I told you. Like, I believe that respect should be there, and especially, I guess that men should think about that a lot, because that's, you know, it's natural, like, for us to respect men, but there has to be like qualities, certain, you know, like characters, certain behavior for us to respect the man.
Exactly. And what I was saying to you is that these aren't things that like any woman is going to be able to tell you. No woman is going to be equipped to tell you. That's like a woman teaching you how to stand and pee. That's like a guy that sits down to pee and a woman being like, hey, why are you sitting? No, you got to do it like this. Zip. Yeah, this is how you do it. She's like, she can't show you how to be a man, guys. You know, so stop looking to the woman for the answers. Like, what's the matter, babe? Why are you acting like this? What did I do? Why are you upset? Stop looking to the woman. She cannot tell you. She can't tell you how to carry yourself in a way that's not going to irritate her, that's not going to have her resent you. You would have to ask a guy that women don't resent. And like she said, you're going to have to get that experience. So you're probably going to have to, you know, talk to a lot of women, hang out with a lot of women, sleep with a lot of women, break up with a lot of women. You know what I mean? You're going to have to kind of go through it. And to be honest with you, the funny part about that is you start to get better at it and you start to know what to do without necessarily knowing why. There's so many things that after a while you understand need to be done and need not to be done, but you don't even understand why. You're like, I don't know why when I do this, it works, but I know that if I do it, it's going to work. I don't know why ignoring her every once in a while, or, you know, prioritizing when I give her attention or what I give her attention for. I don't even know why it works, but it works, right? So you'll start to kind of get a sixth sense, I think, after a while. It takes a lot of experience, guys. So sleep around, knock yourself out, use your condom or whatever. But the first thing, though, when he was saying that if you're having issues with modern women, probably the issue is you.
I think that applies for both. That applies for both. I mean, if male are complaining about women, the question is to men. If women are complaining about men, then the question is to women. That's what I think. But I mean, I agree with him.
I think it's because they're modern. I think that's the problem. I think if you have a modern mindset, you're going to have issues with women. And I think when women have a modern mindset, they're going to have issues with men. That's what I think. Because the way that we're taught to treat the opposite sex nowadays, it's never worked in history before. And that's actually something that Andrew had said, that it's simple as it is, it makes a lot of sense. He said, women keep on saying that I'm old-fashioned or I'm thinking in terms of how things used to be. He said, yeah, but the thought process you're using now has never been proven. It's never worked. Right, all this modern shit hasn't worked yet. So why would we be constantly pushing on that when what was working in the past had always worked?
Who should we talk to about that? Who invented that modern mindset? Like, who's guilty?
Well,
let's find the guilty person.
Well, that's what the elites want. They want to try to destabilize the tradition, because with the values and tradition, it becomes hard to control people.
Right.
If people are controlled by their customs and their traditions and their religion and their beliefs and their morals, their values, it's really hard to get people to do other things because they already have a programming. The same way you said that you would take issue with the fact that that's how he chose to make his money, that's your values. But if you look, the girls nowadays, they're waiting to turn 18 to jump on OnlyFans, or they're getting fake IDs to jump on OnlyFans. So there is no upbringing, there is no tradition, there is no values or morals that's preventing them. There's nothing about how they were raised that makes them say, oh, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. There's nothing. You get what I'm saying? So they're wide open to outside influence. And then there'll be certain situations that's on the table, and these young guys will be like confused about it. They'll be asking questions about it. Like recently somebody asked Andrew Tate, like, how do you feel about if a guy breaks up with his girlfriend and then his best friend sleeps with her? What do you think about that? And then he was like, what best friend? And he's like, no, the guy's best friend sleeps with the girl. And Andrew was like, well, then clearly that's not his best friend. And the person asking the question was confused. And it's like, if you have this traditional thought process, you would have thought the same thing. You would have been like, wait a minute, that's an oxymoron. Mm-hmm. How could that guy be his friend if he slept with his ex? Like, that cancels out. That means that guy was just pretending to be a friend. And I blame both guys in that equation, because why would you even have a guy like that as a friend? Why would you call a guy like that your friend? Right. And this shit is going over these guys' heads. Remember that time when I broke up with that chick and she was calling you and trying to see you and talking all this shit, and you just kept on telling me about it? Like, yo, I don't know what's up with this chick, yo. I don't know why she's... That's a friend. Mm-hmm. And when I was younger, even if you wanted to sleep with a girl that had been with a guy that's your friend, you just simply ask the guy. You'd be like, yo, so you're done with this chick? I mean, is it cool if I... You see what I'm saying? You'd be like, yo, bro, go ahead. I don't give a fuck about her. You sure? Bro, I don't give a shit. Bro, are you sure? Because I'm going to teabag her. Bro, do your thing. All right, cool. Bros over hoes. You know what I'm saying? So right. that wouldn't have, he wouldn't have been the last person to know. He would have been the first person to know. Right. So if she had been like, yeah, that's why I picked your friend, he'd be like, yeah, he showed me the tape. Slut. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have been that thing. So, all right, so hold on. Next question is, do you find Andrew Tate attractive? And I guess you already answered that. You said yes, but you won't tell me which brother you think is more attractive.
I mean, they're both attractive.
She's smart, guys. I can't fool her. All right, but the way she handled that's how you're supposed to handle it. With sisters. You're supposed to be like, I don't know, you're both very beautiful. I don't know, right? Never say one or the other to both. But when they're alone, that's the one you say is the better looking one. Yeah, see, she knows the game. All right. Next question is, do you think...
I feel analyzed and judged, like in this seat, like 24/7. Like,
I'm just trying to help.
Chill.
I'm trying to help, guys.
I'm just answering the question.
I want you guys to learn. She's. If you saw the DMs, she's a player. This girl got game. Do you think Andrew Tate should have been banned from social media?
Why was he banned?
We don't know. That's not the point. The point is,
I mean, I didn't know about that, so yes, like that's logical
for saying stuff like that.
Okay, got it. So there was no certain reason.
All right. It wasn't anything in particular.
You know what? I think that's what happens. Like, I see it so many times, and I see that also, in my culture, and I refer, to Russia in that particular moment. It's just that sometimes, the truth is, like, some people, they don't want this truth to come up. They don't want to listen to it. They don't want to stick to it. They don't want to accept these rules, even though they are right, even though this is how it's supposed to be. It's just something that happens in general over all the world. In social media and TV, what we see, what we read, like what we see in Instagram and the news, like all this like informational chaos that we are in right now, and we've been for many, many years. It just looks like when something is actually, worth listening to, reading to, learning from,
silence.
It's silence. That's
right.
it.
Yeah.
And that's where you gotta step up and say, okay, what do I believe is right? If I believe that's right, then you gotta just keep listening to the people that you
exactly.
believe you believe are saying the right
while
things.
they last.
Yeah.
But so you do like believe that there's definitely a control system. There's definitely a presented reality that they kind of construct for us.
It's hard to say who is, doing all of that, but
But it's there. It's
But
got to
it's
definitely be
there.
there. Because
It's there.
I guarantee you, if I go to Ukraine right now and see it for myself, it's not going to match up to what they're telling us
No,
on the news.
absolutely
I
not.
guarantee you.
and believe me, like me sitting here and hearing, the news of what's going up there,
Exactly. You're like,
and
what?
hearing from people there what's going on, I'm like, wait a second.
It's not right.
Wait,
This isn't adding up.
That's not how it is.
That's what I'm saying. And I think that lies and propaganda, they take a lot more work and they take a lot more time and preparation. I mean, think about how long it takes to tell a lie. To be like, okay, so all right, so I'm gonna tell her that I went here, so I gotta call my boy and tell him to cover for me, and then I gotta do this here, and I gotta make sure that my GPS thing isn't on, and then I gotta do this, and then I gotta say this, okay, and then I gotta cover. It takes a lot, guys, to deceive somebody. It takes a lot of effort, and the truth is effortless. You don't have to do all of that to tell the truth. You
No.
just be like, da 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 da. That's it.
Yeah.
Because you see what I'm saying? The truth doesn't
Yeah,
take all of this
absolutely.
orchestration. It just tells someone telling you. That's all it takes is for someone to just tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But a lie has to be created. You have to put things into place to make it believable.
To have plan A, plan B, plan
Right.
C.
You gotta
in
do
case
too
of-
much. Right.
Right.
So I think someone like him, he's jeopardizing all of this work and effort that's been put into creating this fake matrix for us. And for him to just throw a stone to shatter it, it's real quick, like
I mean, and also like we shouldn't forget that in general, if I'm right, that Andrew Tate was always thinking about telling and making videos about like money, that money is like control, that money is possibilities, and he's been always talking about like breaking this like box that
Right.
we're all in. And that's also, like that all makes sense. The fact that he's blocked in social media, I mean, that's
Makes sense.
That makes sense.
Last question. Do you think that freedom of speech should be prohibited, policed, or controlled as far as social media is concerned? In other words, because they provide this platform, because it's free, because they allow you to use it and use the technology, should those people be allowed to ban someone or remove someone or police their speech on their platform?
That's a good question, because from one side, we are dealing with people who are actually delivering, some valuable information, valuable thoughts, experiences, and from, like on the other hand, we're dealing with people who just, talk nonsense, teach nonsense, and actually offend other people. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, and they all go under the same, filter, and that's where I don't know. It looks like the rules should be changed. Maybe the filter should be changed.
See, for me, I believe in freedom of speech, and I believe in the truth, but I believe in it equally. I believe that I can absolutely despise someone, but I still think they have the right to have the freedom to speech and to be able to speak their mind and to give their opinion and give their thoughts or whatever. I believe nobody should really be silenced. But I also agree that if a platform is provided, the people that provide that platform should be able to police it and control it and do what they feel to do with it. They weren't ads in the beginning. That developed later. So where the hell did the initial money come from to build the infrastructure for these platforms? Somebody had to shell that money out in the beginning. Why would they wait so long for a return on their money? Because it wasn't about money, it was about controlling people's ability to communicate and exchange ideas. So I just want everybody to kind of keep that in mind, because when you pay for HBO, you can watch whatever the hell shows you want to watch because you're paying for that entertainment, right? When you pay for adult content like you perverts do, ain't nobody trying to censor that because you paid for that. So support the content creators, that are telling you the truth, and let's figure out where the other platforms are going to be, because I would rather be on a platform that I have to pay to be on. I always, in my head, was like, I'd rather pay for Instagram and you don't tell me what I can and can't do with my Instagram account.
That makes sense.
Right? I would rather that. I would rather pay for Instagram and not have to worry about, are they going to take down a photo because it's violating community guidelines.
Yeah.
Right? So so that's about it. You don't agree with him in most cases, but you don't think he's a misogynist or a bad person. You just think that he's a pimp.
That's a nice conclusion, but that's not what I said.
Tell us. What do you say? Okay, tell us, what is it?
No,
What's the conclusion?
Okay, so like these beautiful people that are watching us, they can scroll back and see what I said.
No,
about
go ahead,
it.
say it. I'm joking. Tell us what it is.
What it is about what? Like I don't think he hates women.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, but you don't agree with majority of what he said, though. Except for women sleep with guys that they respect. Except for they sleep with guys they respect. We can agree.
Again, I was speaking about these 3 points that he mentioned in the video. No, first, I agree with the respect point. Okay. I agree with what was the second one?
Well, that if you're having issues with modern women, the problem is probably you.
Oh yeah, that the problem is you. Yes, I agree with that, but with a little addition that applies for women as well. You always got to start, from yourself, right? And the third point was about the freedom of speech.
No, that you're gonna have a hard time in a long-term relationship or a marriage.
Right, and I agreed with experience.
If you weren't a player in the past.
But player and
you gotta break hearts.
experience-
That's what it is. You would have had to have broken some hearts first.
I mean, not necessarily you gotta break hearts. You just have to, get out of your house, and speak to women, talk to them.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Would you rather a reformed bad boy? Would you rather a guy that was out here just using women and womanizing, and then he came to maturity, he's ready to settle down?
I would be very
to
suspicious
love,
about this guy.
And even if he's making the decision to behave better,
it's not that like
you got it out of his system.
Yes, that's okay, and I believe that people can change, but that would take more time for this guy to prove that he has actually changed.
But if he never treated you that way, I'm not saying he started off treating you like that,
but
and then he
still.
changed. I'm saying,
No,
saying as you met him, he had already made the transformation.
Okay, like we gotta speak about this whole situation from the beginning. Which transformation? Like, how would this guy behave in the past?
I'm saying he was dating multiple women. He was spinning plates. He wasn't committing. He was having a good time.
Right.
He was kissing the girls and make them cry. And then he got to a certain point in time in his life when he said, okay, you know what? I had enough of that. I'm ready to settle down.
Perfect. That would take a lot of time. Like, for me personally.
No, what I'm saying is he met you like that. He met you already having been ready to settle down. Like, that's how he met you.
Okay.
Yeah. So you got to know him just like any other woman, but he just made different decisions with you.
All right.
Yeah. He met the other women too. They didn't know what he was gonna do.
And what was the question again? So he meets me at this stage?
Right. And he doesn't treat you like all the women in the past.
All
He
right.
decides to. You see what I mean? He decides to be a one-woman guy now.
What's the question?
Is that, you didn't let me finish the question. What I was saying is, do you prefer that, or do you prefer the guy who was always a nice guy and he always had limited options? He never had all those experiences. He always was just with one woman at a time, which obviously means he has a hell of a lot less experience, because if you're with one woman for a year, 2 years, the guy who wasn't in a committed relationship for 2 years, he's bedded dozens of women in those 2 years. So he's got 30 women experience in the same time that another guy has been with just the one woman. So what I'm saying is, by the time he comes to you and he's ready to put a ring on it and move in and live together, would you have rather the guy that has all that experience with women behind him, or you would rather the guy that you're like his third girlfriend? They're the same age, but this guy's only had 3 girlfriends. This guy has had 60. What would you rather?
Like, there are some guys that have 3 girlfriends or even one, and they learn so much in this relationship.
You know the exception was coming, guys. Women love exceptions.
I mean,
that's highly unlikely, but continue.
You're not going to have any other answer from me.
I like fairy tales. All right, so you prefer the guy that has limited experience?
it's like sounds like black and white. No. Okay, like it's
That's
not
the
like
question.
that.
That's how I phrased the question,
It's not like
though.
that because
It's an ultimatum.
then I
This or
cannot
that.
answer this question.
The question is phrased as an extreme. The guy that has very limited experience or the guy that has an abundance of experience. Which one would you prefer? Keep in mind, the caveat is they're both going to be equally committed to you. That's the caveat. I'm not saying that the guy with the experience is going to start cheating on you. I'm saying they're both going to, you're the only gal for me. But one has all this experience already in the database. And this guy has very little.
All right, I will answer the question in a different way. Let's say I had experience, living with a guy for like what, a year. I don't know if it's long, if it's not. But let's say this is the experience I had, and I know already how it is to live with a guy. I know like that a lot of things changes, and
Of course.
it's just different. So for me, let's say to move in with a guy who never lived with a girl would be a bit more difficult because he's not experiencing that. And here's where I will think like, okay, well, do I have this time, to invest and explain and set up everything and like, organize everything and all of this, that's going to be a question to me. But I will be able to answer this question when I face this situation, when I be in the situation where I make a decision. I cannot answer this question right now. I cannot say black or white. I cannot say the guy with experience or the guy without experience. No, because you gotta know this particular case because every case is different.
Yes, but I phrased the question, this or this.
And I'm not going to answer it this or this, okay? That's it. You don't have an answer to this question.
Gotta pick one or the other. Jesus Christ. You're supposed to play ball here. All right, so other than that, I give up.
And then at the end of the video, he gave up.
Guys, go get that damn experience. You need that experience. You need it, or else it's not gonna play well for you guys. And I'm scared. I'm terrified for the average guy because the truth of the matter is, the average guy in a relationship, the woman has more experience than him, and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. You don't want the co-pilot to have more experience than the pilot. Think about that for a minute, guys.
Yeah.
How the hell is that going to work?
Right.
How is that going to work when the co-pilot has more experience than the pilot? And a lot of you guys, the relationship is the woman constantly nagging you and complaining and critiquing you. You know why? Because she has more experience than you. That's why. She's like, why are you doing that like that? Why did you? So that's what you're going to wear? So that's what you're going to wear? That's your final answer? She's been with more guys than he's been with girls.
What does this mean?
I had it made in Mexico.
But what does it mean? What is the sign for?
Where's it pointing to?
Okay, what is it?
You don't see where it's pointing? You don't see where it's pointing? Remember I told you, subliminal. It's got to be like a hidden message, It's like you're talking in code. You're like, hey, girl. Right? No, actually, what it means to me is that the big head is greater than the little head.
Damn, I'm asking you about the sign, about the
That's what I'm
star.
talking about. The sign. The sign is saying that the big head is greater than the little head. That's what that sign means. You didn't know that? The greater lesser sign. It's a math thing. I'm joking. It's a general symbol from the military.
So that's what I was asking.
You was falling for it there.
I was asking for it because we were talking about these pilots and.
It means I'm the general, mate. I'm the governor. That's what it means. I'm the boss around here. Call the shots, mate. All right, we're out of here, guys. We hope you enjoyed her analysis of this Andrew Tate clip, and I know that inquiring minds would want to know. Are you still interested in going on a date with Tristan?
I don't know.
I think you know.
I mean, if he invites me for a date, I will take a couple of months to think about it.
You don't have a couple of months.
Excuse me?
You can have a couple of months. If he comes to town, he's not going to be here for a couple of months. Think about it.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No, you know.
They come to Miami for
no.
like 3-4 days max.
Well, then that's his problem. Then he will have to come back.
I don't believe it, guys.
Well, okay.
I
fine.
think that if he,
Then I will not go on the date with Tristan.
I think you're gonna be like, "Hey, stranger." That's what I think. You're gonna be irritated, but
No, well, there is no reason for me to be irritated.
you have very nice hands. I don't know. You have very strange hands.
Strange or nice?
Strange. I mean, they're beautiful, but they're strange.
Excuse me, can we stop watching?
Yeah, because your hands are so.
Maybe because I play the piano?
They're like, you know what I mean? Like they're thick.
Because they're strong. I play the piano.
No, it's not like muscle. It's just you have like
Oh, you want to call them fat?
No, that's my point. They're not. Yeah, guys, I want you to understand what I'm saying here, because some people are, they're probably as confused as she is. What I'm saying is her fingers, right? They're like thick, but they're neither muscular nor fat. That's why I use the word strange, because I'm like, why does your fingers have so much volume, and it's neither fat or muscle? It's like
Well, I guess now because it's a bit hot.
the bones are wider.
Oh yeah, the bones. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
big bones.
That's what I'm saying. It's very interesting. Are you part caveman? Are you part Neanderthal?
No.
I think so. The part of the world that you're from might be some caveman DNA over there. Savage. She has nice hands though. It's beautiful. They're beautiful. Turn it this way so they can see the. See what I mean? Look at the fingernails, guys. Even the fingernails look kind of thick, no?
Stop it, please. Leave me alone.
Now I want to see the feet, because now I'm like.
Oh, now you
'Cause
sound very weird to me.
No,
Okay.
no. The feet and their hands are gonna match.
All right.
But no, for the record, I like width. Yeah, I like
Not the length.
Well, who the hell wants a woman with long ass feet? But I like what? The hell? If a chick got long feet, that's kind of weird.
Can we just finish this?
I would prefer your fingers to be wide rather than long. The long would be unattractive. I'm just saying. The thick is, it's a lot of cushion,
A lot of cushion.
Yeah, you have a lot of. You see, don't you? Your fingers are thicker than mine.
Look how big my hand
That's
is.
what I'm saying. Your
What?
your
Look,
finger
look at this finger.
your fingers are thicker than mine. That's all right.
That's so funny.
I got a bigger dick though. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one, and I'm gonna get her to do a body rating. So, feelings are gonna get hurt. She's savage. She's brutal. So good luck with that.
But yeah, absolutely. For setting your boundaries and stuff and making sure you're not respected, the key is this as a man. And this is the bottom line. Most men are not prepared to walk away.
Yep.
And if you're not prepared to walk away, you don't have any weapons.
Exactly.
If she knows no matter what, you won't leave, then what weapons do you have? Anything you say, shouting, screaming, yelling, going out away for a few days, whatever. She knows you're going to come back. You have no weapons. The second, imagine a girl came to you and she said, no matter what you do, no matter how many times you cheat, no matter what, I will never leave.
Right.
Think of all the shit you do. I know I do.
Yeah.
So this is the point. So as a man, if you're never prepared to walk away, you're never going to be respected. Respect and the woman thinking, you know what, he might just leave me, are linked. They have to be there. So you have to mean what you say. You have to let her know, look, there's some things I won't tolerate. And if you fuck with me, I'm going to walk away. And if you walk away and she doesn't chase you, then she's gone. At least you saved yourself a fucking nasty divorce and getting cheated on and all that shit. Just end it then and there and save yourself a bunch of time. But men are too afraid to pull the plug on it because they get addicted to the pussy and they don't believe they can get any more pussy and they get all messed up. And this is one of the advantages of being a playboy. I can leave any chick because I got 10 more.
Yeah.
So if she doesn't act right, I'll just replace her for the night and I'll feel better by the next day. I go through a breakup a week. I'm used to it. I don't give a shit. And it's just like, this is part of the game. So you have to be prepared to walk away as a man. So you have to look at any relationship you're in and say, okay, I'm a nice guy. I love her. She loves me, but I have boundaries. And if she fucks with them, I'm going to have to walk away. And that's the truth. Otherwise, you're never going to be respected.
Yeah, I call it non-attachment, right? Like having this ability to be fully open, right? Because it's not just being a cold, heartless bastard or asshole. It's being fully open, but also at the same time being willing to walk away, just saying, hey, I'm not attached. Like, I can express myself, can even fall in love. That's fine. But I'm willing to walk away because my worth is so much greater, and I have options, and I'm never going to tie myself up into one single option that I have and put my worth or identity into that.
I've been head over heels in love with women and left them and never
Yep.
got them back, and they never knew.
Yep.
That's life. That's how it
That's
goes. I've been head over heels in love with women. I didn't want to lose them, and they weren't listening, so I walked away, and they didn't chase me, and I lost them. But that's it. My honor's intact, my pride's intact, and now I don't give a fuck anymore because time's a healer. That's life.
I'm actually thinking about this day that you saw me with my boyfriend. I was going on this, here in Miami on Fridays. And the last Friday of every month, they do this. They close all the roads, and you just go on your bike and you ride for 5 hours. That's what I did when you saw me.
That was a whole nother time, though.
No, that was this time.
No, it was more than once I saw you with him.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that day. That day too.
Oh, when you remember you helped me with the bike.
Yeah. She was with her boyfriend, and I had to help her with the bike. I was like, this mother.
No, because he already left. He was already down there.
Yeah, I was like, why is this guy not taking care of his responsibilities? See, that's how it starts, guys. You let another man carry your girl's bike.
That's it. You lost your game.
You see what I mean? She might be riding something else. She might be right on the bicycle. I want you to ride on the bicycle. All right, let me. Bye, guys. I'm out of here. I'm gonna have to cut this up into 2 goddamn parts.
Ciao. Can I do that?
Yeah, go ahead, press it with the big ass fingers.